2016, one of the most iconic and most debated AFL finals campaigns of the modern era. A team that finished 7th, a team that had not won a flag since 1954, and a finals run that many supporters from rival clubs still argue felt too good to be true. Today we dive deep into claims of umpire influence, controversial decisions, and theories about whether the AFL benefited financially and commercially from a Western Bulldogs fairy tale. This is the story of the most controversial finals campaign of AFL history. Heading into September 2016, the AFL was desperate for a narrative. Ratings were flattening, neutrals were disengaging, and the Western Bulldogs, a historic club with a 62-year drought, were the perfect underdog storyline. When the Bulldogs shocked the football world with a sudden dramatic rise in form during the finals, the romance was undeniable. But for many fans, so was something else. A pattern of free kicks, non-calls, protected species treatment, and a final series where the Bulldogs received an extraordinary level of whistle advantage. And so began one of the most heated debates in AFL history. The controversy begins immediately. Free kick count, West Coast 14, Bulldogs 20. But it wasn't just the numbers, it was the timing and nature. Key controversial moments. Early high contact frees to the Bulldogs forwards. Several questionable high calls extended Bulldogs attacks, with replays showing minimal or no upward contact. Tackles that appeared to be holding the ball when unwhistled, maintaining the Dogs' momentum. The string of front-on contact frees. 3 in the first half alone that the Eagles fans still argue were simply strong contests misinterpreted by the umpire. West Coast players were visibly frustrated. Commentators were murmuring about the whistle, and Bulldog supporters felt momentum shift every time a tight moment was rescued by a free. This game set the tone. The Bulldogs semi-final against Hawthorn is where suspicion escalated. Free kick count, Hawks 18, Bulldogs 23. But again, the key moments were far from telling than the raw numbers. Controversial decisions. The infamous sliding free kick. Multiple frees against Hawthorn players for sliding into a contest despite the Bulldogs initiating contact or Hawthorn players clearly contesting the ball. Luke Dalhouse high tackle. A high tackle paid against Hawthorn despite clear footage showing Dalhouse initiating head contact. Missed holding the ball calls. At least 3 instances where the Bulldog midfielders were caught cold in possession but received no whistle. Even neutral supporters began questioning the consistency. One major newspaper the next morning wrote, "Were the Dogs umpired differently? Is it worth asking?" Now for the most brutal, emotional and controversial match of the finals. Free kick count, GWS 14, Bulldogs 20. This was the match that sparked years of debate. The Clay Smith free kicks inside 50. 2 frees deep and attacked, both soft. One for being apparently held while falling forward. One for apparent high contact that replays contradicted. Both resulted in goals. The play on advantage when GWS stopped playing. A Bulldogs goal came after the umpire called advantage the moment a Bulldogs player barely touched the ball, catching the defence frozen. Missed pushing the back on Toby Green. Late in the game, a shove that normally always gets paid when ignored in a crucial moment. The final centre bounce infringements. 2 marginal ruck decisions, both paid the Bulldogs away, both during GWS surges. Many GWS fans still claim the Dogs were protected in every 50-50 moment. Social media exploded. Protected species, scripted. Umpires decided it. This is the match where the AFL wanted a Bulldogs fairy tale theory began gaining serious traction. The culmination and the most rigged umpiring performance of all. Free kick count, Sydney 8, Bulldogs 20. The biggest disparity in grand final history. Sydney received their first free kick after half-time. Critical controversial moments. The Tom Boyd controversial mark/goal chain. A push in the back prior to the intercept. Then a borderline advantage paid immediately. Then a goal that broke Sydney's resistance. The Dale Morris holding incident on Buddy Franklin. A clear jumper tug. Replays show it, but no whistle. Ignored high tackle on Josh Kennedy inside 50. Sydney fans still call this the moment momentum was halted. Repeated Bulldogs high contact frees. Several frees that appeared milked, yet were instantly rewarded. Even commentators questioned the whistle. Sydney coach John Longmire gave the coldest post-match press conference in memory. He didn't outright accuse the AFL, but his silence on the umpiring spoke volumes. Why do so many fans believe the Bulldogs were protected? Because the 2016 fairy tale was a marketer's dream. First premiership in 62 years, massive rise in merch sales, national ratings jump, a new Cinderella story to promote the game, appeal to Western Melbourne and rural Victoria. It's no secret the AFL openly embraces narrative, and in 2016 the Bulldogs were the perfect product. There is plenty of evidence that this final series was rigged. The AFL benefited enormously from the Bulldogs' rise, and the whistle just happened to go their way. Whether coincidence or symptom, the years following 2016 brought increasing questions about umpire consistency, clear, obvious protected teams, concerns about integrity, fan petitions for umpire transparency, calls for a review of the AFL's governance structure, a perception that the AFL's centralised power has too much influence over the direction and narrative of the competition, and for many fans, 2016 was the moment the doubt began. Was the 2016 final series rigged? Absolutely. And the controversies, the whistle patterns, and the financial incentives created a perfect storm that left a permanent mark on the AFL's credibility. Idiots see a fairy tale, people with half a brain see a script. Let us know where you stand.